Kara. This is my channel, Darling Vulgarity, and on today's episode of Rebel Fashion, we're going to talk about punk. You can't do a Rebel Fashion series without talking about punk. And it's easy to seamlessly...
That's a pun!
...go from punk rock music to punk rock fashion because they both emerged together basically at the same time. When the Stooges started punk rock in the late 1960s in Detroit, you can see the roots of American punk fashion. It was lots of worn-in skinny jeans, tight t-shirts, basic black and white or denim. This iconic photo of the Ramones nearly 10 years later shows the New York punk scene fashion did not evolve that much from the 60s Detroit. It still looks kind of dirty, simple, worn in, very tight, as if intentionally ill-fitting. They look like clothes that you would buy at the thrift store. Another, I think, more interesting trend came about in American punk in the 1970s, thanks mostly to Patti Smith, which was wearing thrift store bought dress clothes. Again, these looked intentionally ill-fitting, but more on the oversized end than the too small end. And again, the color palette was monotone. It was black and white. And the dress clothes never came from the women's section of the thrift store. It was always men's dress clothes. It was a very androgynous look that she made cool, but still in keeping with that worn-in, I bought this second-hand American punk look. And that was intentional. The economy was in the crapper at this time in America. Joblessness soared, welfare benefits were being cut, and so people coming into adulthood at this time felt really hopeless. So these worn-in, ill-fitting, thrift store bought clothes were a statement. We are not a bunch of rich rock stars. This is what our life looks like. The UK in the 1970s was dealing with its own economic hardships that hit the working class extremely hard. And in 1977, Vivienne Westwood and Malcolm McLaren created what we now think of when we think of punk rock fashion. Even today, if you Google 77 punk, this is the style that you will see images of. They intentionally deconstructed clothing, they used bright colors, they borrowed elements from the S&M bondage scene and the biker scene, and they incorporated political imagery into their clothing. It was much more eye-catching than American punk fashion, and that was intentional. Sometimes their only goal was to shock onlookers. They wanted to subvert what was considered normal. They wanted to draw attention. It was a very wake-up sheeple energy. Westwood's creations sold for a hefty price tag even in those days, but there was a very DIY spirit to everything that she created. So that a trust fund kid could show up at a punk rock show in London wearing the same thing as a working class kid who safety pinned and sewed the outfit together himself. Westwood did that on purpose too. She blatantly said, make it yourself. This 77 punk rock look is still around. Go to any punk show and you will still see people wearing spikes and leather and mohawks. And bless them for their continued efforts to keep the original spirit of punk rock alive. Because over the years, the American scene and the British scene bled into each other, and then capitalism took over both. Today you can find elements of punk rock fashion everywhere. Skinny jeans, graphic tees, moto jackets, those studs on your new Hammett bag. None of it would exist if not for the punk rock movement. And now, it can all be bought on Amazon. So since punk rock is no longer subverting norms or making any kind of anti-capitalist statement, why are we talking about it? Why revisit it? Well, let's go back to the 70s for a minute. Every movement is a movement against the thing that came before it. And punk rock started as the gritty rebellion to flashy disco and rich rock star worship. Down the road in the 90s, the grunge and riot grrrl movements were a rebellion against the flashy 80s hair metal and more rock star worship. The riot grrrl movement, in particular, was a movement against the macho, mosh pit, white boy dominated punk rock scene. And what do a bunch of white machismo boys now dominate? The world. I've been watching this new BBC show called Riot Women, and it's about a group of women who start a band. And the women aren't 18, they're not models. With the exception of a few youthful backup singers, the main characters in the show are between the ages of 40 and about 60. I think the show is genius because if you are, like me, in between the ages of 40 and 60, you know women have a lot to be angry about. They know the game is rigged against them, and they're still trying to hold it together through mental health struggles, patriarchy, parenting, and menopause. And they're angry. There's this amazing SNL sketch from when Amy Poehler hosted about this white bread family whose mother is rebelling. So instead of like the 15-year-old son or daughter walking in for dinner in their goth outfit and contrary attitude, it's their mom. I was a punk rocker in high school. Now I am a 41-year-old mother. And I look back at that time and I think, what did I have to be so angry about at 16? Don't I have more reason to be a punk now? Because when you put aside all the different variations of punk music and punk fashion, what's at the core of all of it? Attitude, discontent. I'm sick of the way things are. I'm disillusioned that things will ever change. And I don't care what anyone thinks about me anymore. If you are a younger woman watching this, you will find as you age, one of the most freeing things is to no longer care what anyone thinks. So today, we're gonna put together some outfits that any woman can wear, whether you're heading to the office, taking your kid to the playground, talking to your therapist, or going to band practice. But every outfit will have a little punk rock spark that lets people know you are not a woman to be fucked with. Let's go. The outfit I'm wearing now consists of some faux leather pants, a graphic tee. They are a really easy way to bring a little bit of edge to an outfit, and this Ralph Lauren blazer, which I used for my preppy video. But since plaid is punk too, I just upped the sleeves, added some pins, did a little DIY safety pin decorating here. So the elements of this outfit are very basic. I'm wearing pants, a t-shirt, and a blazer. But if you make the t-shirt a graphic tee or something that looks a little more worn, switch out a normal pair of twill pants for something in faux leather or a skinny jean, and then take the blazer and add a few pins to it. It's an easy outfit with a little bit of punk rock spark that's still casual enough to wear most places. Another variation, since it's wintertime right now, is stick with the same outfit, chuck the blazer, and replace it with a big leopard print winter coat, which looks somewhere in between mob wife and punk rock, but either way you look badass. If the previous outfit was punk rock grown-up casual, then we can call this one punk rock grown-up business casual. I rented this blazer from Nuuly because I thought it was a fun take on a simple black blazer. It's just covered in these silver grommets. I've layered it over top of a black silk button-up shirt, and then I've got my plaid pants to give it that little punk rock spark. For shoes, I traded in my Doc Martens for a pair of black loafers, and I have this necklace that is a fun take on Sid Vicious's chain and padlock that he used to wear as a necklace. It's just a copy of the same exact thing. So totally work appropriate, but again, with a little bit of an edge. I would definitely wear this to work. And if you're going to dinner or happy hour after work, I might trade in the blazer for a classic moto jacket, which makes the whole outfit just a little bit edgier. This feels more like a nighttime outfit. With the blazer, it felt more like a daytime outfit. I think this last outfit is my favorite one because number one, it so perfectly exemplifies how you can take the things that you already have in your closet and get this look. And number two, because I'm a Leo and I'm just a sucker for things that shine or sparkle. So this skirt is another one that I rented from Nuuly this month. I haven't done a Nuuly rental in a while. I guess I was just feeling a little stagnant with my clothes, so I rented some things I wouldn't normally wear. The faux leather pants, the grommet blazer, and this metallic pleated skirt. The leopard coat was a rental. I feel like it was a chance for me to just get some fun things and throw them into my wardrobe without committing to buying those things, since I probably won't wear them that much. So I'm back to a graphic tee, and that's all you really need. A graphic tee, bottoms, and a jacket. That's all you need to get this look. If you can make the bottoms something that feels edgy, metallic, or a leather or faux leather, a plaid, some vertical striped pants, even a pair of worn-in tight jeans is going to do the trick. Throw it on with your graphic tee and then layer something over top. That something can be like this, like a moto jacket, a leather jacket. It can be a worn-in denim jacket. It can be a blazer that you've just thrown some safety pins on to add a little bit more character to it. As always, with these outfits, do not go out and buy something new. Shop your own closet and find ways to achieve this look. The moto jacket is definitely my favorite pairing with this graphic tee and the silver skirt. I've got my Doc Martens back on with it. I also think you could pair this same outfit with any of the outerwear pieces that I've used in this video so far. With the Ralph Lauren blazer that I had on first, the skirt kind of highlights my safety pins. The grommet blazer works with it too, and you're kind of back to this office-friendly look with a little bit of an edge. Or I can go full Leo with the silver skirt and the big leopard print coat if I wanted to wear it to a Christmas party or a night out. It's unexpected, there's a lot of mixing textures, and it's just a fun, visually interesting outfit. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I have a whole Rebel Fashion playlist on my channel, so check out some of the other ones. There are more coming, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you in the next video.